Making our headlines this Thursday, July 3rd, the Ministry of Health, Environment and Sustainability announces a major shift in mental health services by creating separate mental health spaces for adults and children. A landmark ruling by the Privy Council preserves the power of the governor to legislate where necessary, and Cayman juniors shine at the regional squash tournament. Good evening, and welcome to CIGtv News. I'm Travis Webster. Before we take a look at today's news, just a reminder to like, share, and subscribe to our channels for the official government information. After 8 weeks of focused work led by the Honorable Catherine Ebanks-Wilkes, Minister for Health, Environment and Sustainability, the government is taking a major step toward overhauling the delivery of mental health services in the Cayman Islands with a plan to transfer adults who are currently inpatients at Anthony S. Eden Hospital, formerly Georgetown Hospital, which will allow for the creation of a youth mental health ward. In an interview with CIGtv, Minister Wilkes and Minister Isaac Rankin had this to say.
The reason why we're here today is to talk a bit about what we are doing. We've all heard of the recent serious allegations, and while neither of us are able to speak to that today because that matter is under investigation, what we can say is I can share with you as Minister of Health that we have been working on this serious issue with my team. Since taking office, it has become obvious that we have a capacity issue at the hospital, as well as many of you have heard before, that we have a mental health crisis here in the Cayman Islands. And what we have identified is that we need to ensure that our children have a designated space for them to receive healthcare relating to mental health in an area that is separate from the adults. And so what I've been doing with my team for the past few weeks is we've been looking at urgent interim measures. We've been looking at areas within the hospital. Unfortunately, all of the areas that could be repurposed will take quite a bit of time, and we're talking about a minimum of 1 year. And so that's simply not good enough. We need to find something faster. You know, I'm a mom too, so I want to make sure that these children have a safe space while they're receiving health care at our hospital. And so that is the reason why we're now looking at the residential facility Ponciana as an option for us to relocate the adults who are receiving healthcare at the hospital. It is an adaptable facility, and it is something that we can deliver in a matter of weeks. We're about action. It's not taking a while to figure this out because we understand that, you know, in order to prevent any situation from happening, whether it's a child or an adult, if you're at a hospital, you should be safe. And this is what we're here focusing on doing today. And that's the reason why we are rolling this out and announcing this today. But this isn't something that we're just working on today. We've been working on this from the time we got started, and we're sharing this information with the public in a spirit of transparency because we understand that you're concerned. You've seen these things circulating on social media and you're wondering, what are we doing? Well, this is what we've been doing. We've been working on finding a fast solution that will ensure that everyone that we have under the care of the HSA has a designated space to receive the care that they need.
This move creates the necessary space to establish a dedicated youth mental health ward at the Anthony S. Eden Hospital within 7 months, something the system has needed for years, but has been unable to achieve under the previous configuration. The ministry has been working quietly but persistently over the past 2 months to put this plan into action. However, the government is making this announcement now because the public deserves transparency following recent allegations involving a minor in a mental health setting.
This is a community issue, and we plan on making sure that there's a comprehensive partnership approach to addressing it, rather than us working in silos. If you or anyone are at risk and need immediate help, we ask you please call someone, or please call 911 and seek out your nearest emergency service.
In a historic ruling, the Privy Council has affirmed the governor's authority to legislate equal rights for same-sex couples, ending a 7-year legal process. The case originated from a challenge by Chantal Day and Vicky Baden-Bush, who were denied a marriage license in 2018. Initially successful in the Grand Court, their victory was reversed by the Court of Appeal, which also found that the lack of legal protections for same-sex couples equivalent to marriage violated the Constitution and the human rights law. Acting Governor Franz Manderson provided a statement to CIGtv.
On the 30th of June 2025, the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council issued their judgment in the case of England versus the Governor of the Cayman Islands. They dismissed the case which had been brought against the governor, concluding that the then governor acted constitutionally in using his reserved powers to legislate to introduce the Cayman Islands Civil Partnership Act 2020, and that adherence to international obligations did fall under the governor's responsibilities for external affairs as per our Constitution. As acting governor, I welcome the Privy Council's judgment.
After lawmakers rejected legislation addressing these protections, former Governor Martin Roper enacted the Civil Partnership Act in September 2020. At the time of the decision, Governor Roper spoke with CIGtv.
We're not complying with our Constitution. The appeal court agreed with that and called for a legal framework for same-sex couples to be passed by the Legislative Assembly, and if the Legislative Assembly was not able to do that, it called for the UK to step in and do that. The government, the Cayman Islands Government and the Attorney General have also accepted publicly that we are in breach of the 2009 Constitution, and the European Convention on Human Rights is an international commitment that the UK has signed up to, and by extension the Cayman Islands, and we are in breach of that. So therefore, after the Legislative Assembly did not pass this bill, that is of great concern to the UK, and I have received instructions from UK ministers to pass a bill using governor's power to legislate.
Local activist Katina Anglin challenged the governor's authority, but her case was dismissed by the Privy Council. The decision reinforces the governor's constitutional role in upholding international human rights obligations and underscores the UK's responsibility for human rights compliance in its overseas territories. And now for sports news. The opening ceremony for the Junior Caribbean Area Squash Association, CASA, Championships occurred on July 2nd. The tournament, which began earlier this week, brought together top junior squash players from across the Caribbean to compete in Grand Cayman. While Team Cayman didn't collect any gold medals in the individual league, the players performed impressively across all age groups. The team saw several upsets on the first day, along with some near upsets, including a close match where Cayman's under-19 number 1 almost defeated the eventual winner of the tournament. Overall, Team Cayman walked away with 2 finalists, several semi-finalists, and multiple plate finalists in the individual competitions. Assistant coach Julian Jervis says that the team is in a strong position heading into the doubles and team events later this week. He added that the players have shown great determination and focus, and he's optimistic that they will continue to perform as well as the tournament progresses. The championships continue at South Sound Squash Club for the rest of the week, with Team Cayman hoping to secure top finishes in the upcoming matches. Games are live streamed from the Caribbean Area Squash Association YouTube channel. And now for a weather forecast. Light winds and seas are expected across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours due to weakening pressure gradient across the Caribbean Sea. A tropical wave located off eastern Jamaica will drift south of the Cayman area tomorrow, bringing a slight increased chance for some showers. For local weather updates, be sure to visit the Cayman Islands National Weather Service website, weather.gov.ky, and follow their Facebook page for the most reliable coverage. If you're watching us on the CIG YouTube channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay informed with the most accurate local government news. That wraps up today's CIG News Brief. I'm Travis Webster. Thank you for joining us.